how did you acquire these documents that were being released by WikiLeaks?
We acquired them because WikiLeaks passed over to us the entire data set of 250,000 cables, which it had got hold of allegedly from a 22-year-old soldier.
Okay, so it's the same U.S. soldier who's suspected of providing those documents earlier in the year to WikiLeaks?
Yes, he's been charged by the U.S. military with leaking thousands of those cables.
Now, did you receive these documents directly from WikiLeaks or Julian Assange, or was it from an intermediary?
Directly, they passed them over to us.
Okay, and were there any concerns or any trepidation about releasing or publishing the information that WikiLeaks provided?
The Guardian in London had lots of concerns, just as the New York Times has lots of concerns. They've also got the documents. And we met those concerns by two things. First of all, we've removed the name of every single individual that we think might be vulnerable to reprisals as a result of publication. And secondly, we've only published a handful, a tiny fraction of these 250,000 cables. We'll maybe, at the end of the process of a couple of weeks of publication, have published a few hundred. So we've only published those that shed light on new and important things in the public interest that we think the world ought to know.
Okay, and among those things that you all chose to publish, I see that you reported on cables that included information about grave fears in Washington and London over the security of Pakistan's nuclear weapons program, alleged links between the Russian government and organized crime. How did you make a decision about what things to include, and also about some of the activities involving Secretary of State Hillary Clinton with this administration, as well as some activity involving the Bush administration too?
Well, one of the things a lot of people in the world are worried about is whether there's a risk of a nuclear exchange taking place in the near future. So one of the stories that we thought was most important was how dangerous were nuclear-armed states, how close they were to the nuclear brink. And the information about how close Pakistan is to that brink, likewise Iran, likewise North Korea, these are some of the things that we focused on.
And so I understand, David, as you mentioned, that the Guardian didn't publish everything. You were very judicious about the things that you felt were pertinent or that should be published. Does the Guardian as a whole feel any responsibility or even culpability for helping to provide this information that WikiLeaks received in an illegal manner?
Well, we didn't do anything illegal. We didn't leak this stuff. We didn't receive this stuff. We didn't incite anybody to leak this stuff. But this was other people who decided to do this. The soldier is charged with leaking it. He had a view he didn't like the things that were going on, apparently. WikiLeaks, they've got an ideology of their own that all information ought to be made public. We're a news organization. People come to us with this kind of material. We didn't urge anybody to break the law. When we've got it, we look at it, we say, what's in the public interest to make known? And those are the things which